We're all about it. Hello everyone, I'm Gary.Russen. Welcome to a brand new addition to the GJRB family in the GJRB family of Gary.Russen programs. This is the Gary.Russen program.
Saturday Extra.
Hello everyone, hello everywhere across America. Welcome to another edition of our Saturday Extra. We have a great show lined up for you today, and our special guest, of course, is going to be Ben Ocemen coming up a little later on. We'll talk some leftover stuff from yesterday's show and a whole lot more, plus music and fun, 15 minutes of nonstop talking music, and of course, like I said, Ben Ocemen coming up on the Gary.Russen program, Saturday Extra. Starts immediately.
All you gotta do is go to Gary.Russen on Skype, or just chat with Gary.Russen with the GJRB Spreaker public site by clicking the balloon icon on the GJRB widget. And now, the Gary.Russen program.
Saturday Extra.
On GJRB.
Yeah, hello everyone, hello everywhere across America and around the world, wherever you're listening to GJRB Online, just above the Lion Shopping District in North Clinton. I'm Gary.Russen. Welcome to the Gary.Russen program, Saturday Extra, right here on GJRB Online Network. Got a great show lined up for you this afternoon. This is our weekend edition, a kind of a wrap-up show of the week's events and news and various things like that. So we're just going to be getting started on a great show. Hope you'll stay with me this afternoon. We'll be opening up the show, opening up our chat room. I'm going to open up that right now while I'm thinking about it. So get into my main, because I was clicking out of that and then going into the main desktop. But all I have to do is go into the desktop here and I can get right to my Skype. So I've got that opened up. That's Gary.Russen on Skype. And if you are listening on Facebook, which is a miracle if you are, you can catch our show and be in the Messenger on Facebook. That is where you can also call the program and get on the air. That's the Facebook Messenger. And if you're a friend of mine on Facebook, if you follow me on Facebook, you can get a hold of me that way and call me through Messenger by hitting that call button. Or, like I said, Gary.Russen on Skype. Just type that into your Skype if you have it. And hit that call button, and it will ring in the Spreaker studios, and you can get on the air. And if you don't want to get on the air with me, but you want to talk to me, if you're one of those that don't like to have your voice carried over airwaves or whatever the case may be, you're one of those people. Just the thought of being over the radio kind of makes you nervous or something. You can just talk to me in the chat room by getting into the Spreaker site, www.spreaker.com/150525, or you can just get in my Twitter. I am the Radio Maniac. When you get in there, you'll see the program's show title and the widget that goes along with it. Hit that play button and it'll take you right into the Spreaker chat room by hitting the icon. You can listen right there on Twitter, which is kind of neat. That's why I like Twitter over Facebook, because Twitter has some neat features there, and one of them is you can be able to listen to this radio program right there. But if you're going to try to browse through your Twitter in that same area, if you're in that same tab, you might lose me, because once you get off the posting, it'll disappear. So you might have to just duplicate your tab there, and if you want to browse Twitter while listening to the show. Got a great show lined up for you today here on GJRB Online, and glad you could be with me. We got some interesting things to talk about. More earthquakes and a tornado in Quebec. which I think I never thought. Well, I didn't know. Well, Canada probably could get tornadoes like we can. I'm not sure, but I guess they can. Hurricanes to the south of us right now. People in Louisiana, those listening down there, are under a hurricane watch. Right now, it's still showing that it's a tropical storm Barry, but they're saying that it could come to land shore by this afternoon. But they're saying it's a Category 1 hurricane. It could be upgraded to a Category 1 hurricane. So they're watching the coastline right now for that. And we'll have a full exclusive rundown on what's going on with that hurricane from our friends at Weather Nation coming up later on too. So we're going to see what's going on with that hurricane. Right now, though, they say it's not a hurricane yet. They're still calling it a tropical storm, so it must be on the verge of being a hurricane. And I will keep in touch with what's going on with that situation. And anybody listening down south in Louisiana would like to call the program and let me know exactly what's going on as far as what this is. What is a hurricane or what? Chat with me. Love to hear from you. Let's see what else we got here. I gave him a birthday greeting yesterday on the air, but I don't think he listens to the program, so I'm going to have to kind of do a belated birthday and let him know that you listen to the show and give you an on-air birthday greeting. No birthdays today, I don't think, on the Facebook. I didn't see anybody's birthday on here today. And let me go to the top of the page. Don't see any birthdays marked. So there is no birthdays today as far as friends on Facebook. But I do have some birthdays that be celebrity birthdays. We'll do those later on. And before I came on the air, just about an hour ago, I was talking to another friend of mine here on Facebook named Mindy Blizzard. She is in Davenport. Posted a video of dangers of opening a perfume bottle in an air-conditioned vehicle. Well, and warning that, if you are in an air-conditioned vehicle, do not open a bottle of perfume because you will start the whole place on fire, or car on fire. I want to tell you that's untrue. There's no way that a fire will start when you open up a perfume bottle in an air-conditioned vehicle. What it was that these boys explained it. He had 6% burns over his body, but it was caused by a gas that was inside the car. It was a clothes spray of some kind, and it was leaking. And I guess the clothes spray has some kind of gases in it. So when he lighted a match, or it was a lighter, butane lighter probably, and the vehicle went up. And it was not caused by a perfume bottle. Because I didn't think didn't sound right to me for some reason. So I checked on it, and it turned out it was not what they said it was. It was a result of gases from a leak of some kind of spray that you sprayed clothes with. And it was nothing that had to do with a perfume bottle, which I thought was kind of interesting. So we'll talk about that later. I sent that video to Ben because I wanted to get his opinion on it when we get to the next hour. I'm looking on the rundown of people online right now to the right of my screen, and I don't see his name there, so I'm going to type it up here in the search engine here and see if he's there. Okay, and I'm going to see if he is up and going. You have a green next to his light you always know when someone's online, they have a green next to their name on the rundown. And if he doesn't have a green next to his name on the rundown, he's not on. So we're going to keep an eye on that, and we'll let you know as far as that's concerned, as to what, when he'll be on and stuff. So we'll be talking about that. I have that video that I sent him. It's on there. I'm looking at it right now. Other things going down the line we're going to talk about here today. Some stuff in the news, some stuff that I want to talk about. So we're going to get started with a little brief look at some news from the GJRB news desk here on GJRB Online. Our Saturday Extra is starting on the air right now here on GJRB Online. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Our brief Saturday edition, 3-hour program talking about different things, different topics, and we'll see if Ben calls in. If not, we will call him in the second hour. If he calls in early, great. Usually what I do, like I said before, I've said this before, that if you are a guest on my program, I will not interrupt you with a commercial break. Okay? Will not interrupt anyone with a commercial break. I just will not do that. The spot breaks on my 9-foot signal and the ones here on Spreaker are spot breaks that I run at my convenient time. I choose when to run those. I run them when I run them according to my schedule. But if I've got a guest on, I will not interrupt them with a commercial break like a commercial station, because I'm not making money. Okay, I'm not making any kind of profit from this radio station. Okay, I could monetize, which I've thought about doing a couple of times, but a friend of mine told me it doesn't really pay much, so I'm not really monetizing. But let's just see what's going on here nationwide. See what's going on in the news, and see what's rolling here. Let's see. I thought maybe I'd find some interest. We were talking yesterday, some leftover news anyway. The Kentucky Fried Chicken in North Carolina that exploded, that blast that was caught on camera. I was watching that blast last night. I thought, wow. Still to this day, I wonder what they're doing an investigation on it, I think. But another thing I want to ask Ben when he gets on is another thing that happened last night in Pittsburgh, back home in Rochester, actually. Residents are there asked to take shelter in the place due to a chlorine gas leak in Beaver County. So I want to talk about that one. That's from a KDKA report. Meanwhile, the movie On Planned is going to open despite some backlash. It's going to open in Canada anyway, despite some backlash. There was a firestorm and controversy in Canada over the screening of the pro-life movie On Planned. The movie, and they said they'll promise to continue tonight when the movie opens in 53 theaters in that country. The American film talks about Abby Johnson's conversion from Planned Parenthood abortion facility manager to a pro-life activist, and was written and produced and directed by Carrie Solomon and Chuck Konzelman. And the Canadian abortion advocates and some media are denouncing this movie as dangerous propaganda. It was taken to social media and the plan to protest several locations, including complexes Yonge and Dundas complex in downtown Toronto, Chinook Central Complex in Calgary, Alberta, Landmark Cinema 12 in Kitchener, I'm going to pronounce that, Kitchener, Ontario, and Cineplex Galaxy Theaters in Saskatchewan. So there's a petition going around now circulating on change.org. against the landmark and complexes for showing the movie in 7 and 14 locations, respectively, and self-prescribed progressive movement, North99.org, is soliciting signatures for a message to Complex asking it to not show the film. So you see, they are blocking conservative views here, okay, regarding this movie, okay, showing that, again, anything that's pro-life is not good. And again, it's the leftists not wanting the exposure of this movie to show a message, because, this movie is one to convert people, because it shows a lot of graphic detail on how the babies are killed. And it's sad. And a lot of people of the leftist movement don't want this movie to be shown. And they are going to continue to protest the movie so that people won't go see the movie, and again, their little movement will be saved. Yeah. Again, this is interesting how the leftist propaganda likes to work. Let's see. I talked about that yesterday. Let's see. Well, we see. We go up a ways, a little bit. We'll find out more about that Kentucky Fried Chicken explosion down in the south later too. We can keep an eye on that. See if there's any follow-ups to that story. Residents named an alligator in Chicago Park. Yeah, called Chance the Snapper. Now, this is an alligator apparently in the Chicago area. Well, I mean, like, wow. Can you imagine that? This is an alligator, and they named it Chance the Snapper. It's the American alligator taking up residence at the Humboldt Park Lagoon in Chicago. This is the alligator's nicknamed Chance the Snapper after a Grammy Award-winning rapper and Chicago native Chance the Rapper. Crowds were amazed at the park in hopes of capturing the glimpse of Chance, but so far the gator's keeping a low profile. Chicago Park District placed restrictions in that area where the gator had been spotted. Park visitors have been advised to not swim or fish or canoe in this lagoon, and to stay away from grassy areas around the water where Chance could hide. They have placed baited traps around that lagoon in hopes that humanly capturing this alligator. Can't pronounce the name of this this woman. Her name is Jenny Schluter. She's a spokeswoman for the Chicago Animal Care and Control. Told ABC News there, quote, it's going to be, quote, it's just not going to be easy to do. The traps are set around the clock. Chicago Police Department is on the scene, or animal control officers at all times, so someone is always there, unquote. Officials believe that the alligator was somebody's pet and was left in the lagoon, and they think that it has only been in the park for like about a few days, and has not startled hunting wild animals yet. Chance is likely to can't pronounce it. Acclimate, well, anyway, the environment which is used to being fed by its owner. So I guess, in other words, there is this alligator's loose, but it could be owned by somebody, and that the they left it in the lagoon. So you have to wonder if they left it in the lagoon on purpose, or like, we could get somebody with this. or was it an accident? So you have to wonder about that one. Alligator. Here we go. Anyway, got some more interesting stories here. Got a lot of them. So hang in there. We got some really interesting stuff coming up. But the one that I think is interesting are the two stories that are coming up right now under our favorite feature, Weather in the News. Well, okay. Let's see, we got weather in the news. Here we go. And it talks about some of those things for tracking Hurricane Barry, which is bearing down the Gulf Coast. And it looks like it's headed toward the Louisiana coast. And they say possibly this afternoon it could hit the coast. This was posted yesterday, or I see this, yesterday. So I don't know, the information probably changed since this has been sent down by ABC News, but it shows what the locality of the locally 10 to 20. Well, some of the surge there. Baton Rouge, Louisiana, in there. Lake Charles and New Orleans is in this. So Alexandria. So let's just hope that hurricane doesn't take the large impact that it could if, it would be a repeat of 2005 where they had that hurricane, and that was a mess. So you have to wonder what's going to, what this storm's going to do. So we're going to keep an eye on that hurricane, and I'll let you know. But the one that was really, really interesting, and I didn't think that Canada could get a tornado, but they did. In Quebec, one injury in this storm. I never figured, being up north and everything, that Quebec would get a tornado, but obviously they did. It injured one person, leaving 105,000 customers without power. Confirmed F1 tornado, so it was a really weak one. Swept through the town of Saint Rajdi. I can't pronounce the name of that. Raja Ashigan, about 50 kilometers or 31 miles north of Montreal, Quebec, Canada. This was on July 11th. So this was, let's say, 2 days ago. The twister touched down about 1830 local time at about 200 miles or 656 yards in diameter. That was a huge one. 656 yards in diameter. It caused significant damage on the grounds of the camping horizon, where trailers were damaged, trees were stripped of their barks, hydro lines severed, and Montreal Gazette, according to the Montreal Gazette, one person was injured after the tornado caused trailer she was in to roll over. At least 25 trailers were damaged. Camp officials stated luckily most of the campsite was empty at the time the residents were attending a public consultation about small airport being planned in that region. At the height of the storm, 105,000 customers in that region were left without power. Only 14,224 remain without power as of 10 o'clock local time, July 12th. So that was yesterday. As of 10 o'clock yesterday, 10 o'clock local time yesterday, AM or PM, I couldn't tell you, they didn't state. But, wow. Imagine that kind of storm doing that extensive damage. Wow. So let's take a look at our weather on the fives and see what's going on nationwide. And like I said, the big news is the hurricane. Hurricane Barry now made landfall in Louisiana coast this afternoon. Will become a tropical storm once again. Dangerous storm surges are going to be possible. Heavy rains, winds expected to cross around the north central Gulf Coast. A hurricane warning is in effect for portions of Louisiana, coast and intercoastal cities of Grand Isle, and the tropical storm warning is in effect for Metro New Orleans. So we'll keep an eye on that and keep a close watch on this tornado, on this hurricane, mostly in the in Louisiana. It looks like it's going to get that'll be the main target. And I will we'll see what happens with Ben if he can get on here, and we'll check with the Weather Nation people sometime in the show. Otherwise, I'll keep an eye on that, and no pun intended, on how this storm is going to continue to transpire. Weather on the 5s, 25 and 55 minutes past the hour on all talk shows, 25 and 45 on all music shows, or any time that in the hour that ends in 5, 10, 15, 25, 35, 45, or 55 minutes past the hour, right here on the Gary.Russen program, Saturday Extra, here on GJRB Online. Thanks a lot for joining me today. Got a great show lined up for you. It's a Saturday laid-back show. Play some music along with that, too, as well. Kind of break the monotony by putting on a tune or two. And give you our weather forecast whenever we can. Tell you local temperatures, and we'll do a weather on the 5s locally. And keep in tabs with what's going on in the local temperatures at this time. From the GJRB Spreaker Weather Center. And right now it popped up to 91 degrees according to the Mayer Farms Eagle Point station. We're at 91 degrees, folks. It feels like 98. I believe that. I was outside taking our dog out, and it was miserably hot. So it's going to be an interesting day in weather. Gonna say that much. We're going to take a look at the weather on the 5s coming up here for you on GJRB Online here on Spreaker. Thanks a lot for tuning into the program, and always a pleasure to bring you the Gary.Russen program, Saturday Extra, here on GJRB Online. And if you like the program and you want to get involved in the show, I'd love to hear from you if you have something you want to talk about. And we always bring you the best in internet radio here on Spreaker, here on GJRB Online, the GJRB Online network. And we got to take a break, and then we'll be right back on the other side with more great talk. So stay with me. The Gary.Russen program, Saturday Extra, continues on GJRB Online here on Spreaker. Just micro, mini moments here. We'll continue the Gary.Russen program right here on GJRB Online. And then coming up in the next half hour, we'll have take a look at the sports page a little bit. Take a look at what's going on. I think the Cubs played this afternoon. And we'll take a look at see what happened in the Wimbledon tennis going on. Got a lot of big stuff happening, man. You know what I mean? So keep it here on GJRB Online. Gary J. Russen with you. The Saturday Extra will continue in just moments here on the GJRB Online Network. Be right back. Yeah, Together with Our Heartfelt Love, a good friend of mine wrote that song, and that was Rusty Stratton here on GJRB Online, and play it later. We played it yesterday, and usually I switch the bumper music when I'm on the air here, kind of flip it over, and usually I'm good at doing that, but yesterday I had just forgotten to, and yeah, which kind of happens when I'm not paying attention or something. But we're back on the air. Welcome back to the Gary.Russen program, Saturday Extra, here on GJRB Online. Thanks a lot for tuning in. We have a great show for you this afternoon. Hope you'll be with me as we continue the show. And, just having fun doing some great talk radio on a Saturday, and of course, we just have a good time doing this stuff. And it's a Saturday; it's a laid back type of show. We just kind of kick back, enjoy the program, and do different things on Saturday that we normally don't do during the week. And it's usually play a little talk. We talk, play some music, and various things like that. And coming up here in the next hour or so, we're going to try to see if Ben is available to be on the air, because he said he was going to today. He didn't have to work. So, of course, things do happen in his job where something could come up. And I'm going to keep an eye on that. And I do have a segment standing by in case he does not are unable to, call in. We'll just, not really necessarily a segment. It could just be a segment, or I could just play some music and talk and just kind of lay back a little bit. It'll just be one of those kind of deals. And I leave it open to you, the listening audience here on Spreaker, to choose your topic and we'll talk. And I got a lot of great people on here that are absolutely fabulous, that they can make this show interesting. And of course we do our regular features, which is always fun. I do various things on here that little segments that I do enjoy. And one of them, of course, is where we go through the social media and do the scroll through social media, which we'll do here coming up. And weather on the fives. We'll get some more temperatures nationwide, and keep an eye on the situation with the weather, especially in the south there, Louisiana. And we're just going to check in with Weather Nation on that situation. See what's going on with the weather there. So we're going to do Weather Nation coming up, and flip over the top of the hour with a station ID, and then be back in for hour 2. So we're going to do that, and I'm going to explore some more stories. And of course, when I do scroll through social media, it usually means that I do what I call that, the scroll, and I come up with various interesting things that they're part of the topic of conversation. So I'll go through kind of like all my Facebook page, my Twitter page. I'll go through those. I'm going to open up the other pages that I use, including MeWe and Convo. Those are the other two social sites that I use. They're fabulous. They're free speech social sites. And I'm working on an ad campaign for Convo. I've been advertising MeWe, which is another free speech social site. And I stand behind these because these are sites that say it's okay to talk about what you want to talk about. They don't control your conversation. They don't say you can't talk about this, you can't talk about that, you can't put your political views on the internet. This is a place where you can. And from what I understand, especially Convo, which was introduced to me by Ed Delgado, the Caramel Conservative, and it is a site that all points of view are welcome, and you can intermix and talk, and what other place, just to share your views with the left wing, even though they don't, they're gonna fight you tooth and nail that they're right and you're wrong. Just still kind of like convince them that what's right, what's wrong. Wrong is right, right is wrong is what this society seems to like to do. And kind of get tired of hearing all these people saying this stuff. This is right and this is wrong. So I mean, just crazy. And we're going to talk about that coming up. Your comments are welcome on the program too. You're welcome to be on the air with me, the Gary.Russen program, Saturday Extra, and talk about all kinds of stuff today. Overcast day. Yesterday was kind of nice, but I think it's kind of cool. It's kind of hot today. It's really hot today, but it's overcast, and I have to wonder what that's gonna do as far as weather's concerned today. And of course, like I said, you can talk to me in the chat room. The Spreaker chat room is always open when I'm on the air. That is going into Twitter. I am the Radio Maniac, and you can go in there and listen to the show and click the balloon icon there, and you can catch our show anywhere on the internet. Facebook doesn't like us, but I'm going to other locations like Twitter, Google+, Pinterest, especially Pinterest, which I think is, Google and Pinterest. Google and Pinterest, and of course all the free speech social sites I just mentioned. So you can get in there and talk to me in the chat room, stop in and say hi. I read what you say and comment on it, so you're welcome to be on the program. And we talk about various things. Like to talk about Christian things, talk about God and what He thinks of this whole situation, what we're doing down here. Some of the things aren't looking good, so we're going to talk about that and various things. Last week when Ben didn't make it on, we had a segment with Rick Scapara, who is the head of the End Time Headlines. He was talking about the earthquakes down in Southern California and how these are birth pains and stuff like that. We were talking about that last week. And so we'll get more into that, but I'm going to do now, we got about 6 minutes, 45 odd seconds in this segment, so I'm going to probably be flipping here pretty soon, here real quick, and continuing with the show. And you're welcome to be part of the program. I'd love to hear from you today. Always glad when we get audience here on the show. And I get people in the chat room. Makes it more interesting. And, get some people out here to give their point of view on some stuff. So we are going to do that. And see where we're at here. The Gary.Russen program, Saturday Extra on GJRB Online and here on Spreaker. And if you want to hear a song, we'll play one there for you. I thought we'd just maybe, sometimes we do is we'll end with a song. We'll take you out with a tune. I always say take you out with a tune. So sometimes it kind of breaks the monotony a little bit. Talk about some of the programs coming up in the last hour. We usually do that. Our Spreaker shout-outs coming up a little later on. We shout out to all our Spreaker listeners and Spreaker podcasters and talk about some of those. Brought to you by Spreaker, where you too can be a DJ like me and do this fun stuff. Just sign up for it. Spreaker, Spreaker, and broadcast to the world. And we have some really good times here on this radio station, and play some neat music and do stuff like that. So always nice when we get a listening audience out there who might like our programs. So thank you so much for a lot of you people who tune in. Probably bore you to death. That's probably true, but I try to make it interesting. Try to make it more So that's how that goes. So I thought, well, we could split it now and flip over in the middle of a song. Sometimes I do. It's kind of like the old 8-track days. Remember when they used to start a song at one track and then click, click, and then ended on the other? Yeah, I'm going to annoy you with that today. We're going to start a song and then flip over to the next track, so to speak, because I'm going to take a break here, and we're going to head back in. Flip over for station identification. You're listening to the GJRB Online Network. This is the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra.